Hey guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, The Bright Side Girl. And today we're going to be talking about 5 spooky young adult books that have been made into movies. So I thought I would bring this to you in chunks. I may or may not do a part 2 this year, but there are actually a lot of fall Halloween style young adult books that have been turned into films, and some of them are pretty good. I think you should try and check them out. So I thought I'd come to you with a short little list just to give you a starter pack of A, books to read if you haven't already, and then movies to watch after. Disclaimer, of course, 90% of the time, the book's better than the movie. But if you can just kind of turn your brain off and look at it as something new, I think you will still enjoy it. A lot of these don't follow the books exactly, I think most of them, but they're still fun movies to watch around fall and Halloween time. I kind of put them in separate categories in my brain, but they're still really fun to watch around the fall time, and they give you just the little glimpses and things of characters that you enjoy from the books you read. Okay, but first off, we're gonna talk about one that's kind of bad, or like really bad, and that would be Drink, Slay, Love. So this is actually a young adult vampire novel. Honestly got this because the cover's pretty, and also it talks about how Pearl is a 16-year-old vampire fond of blood, and she's allergic to sun and mostly evil. Until the night a sparkly unicorn stabs her in the heart with his horn. So I thought that sounded ridiculous, and I fully went into this thinking that it was going to be terrible. And let me tell you, it was definitely cheesy and old school YA, but I really enjoyed it. Pearl and her whole family are vampires, and then this thing happens to her where she's able to walk around in the daylight, which she's never had before. So she decides to go to high school to try and like capture people to bring back for her family so that they can feed. And it was just really, really fun. I super enjoyed this. Just go in knowing that it's cheesy and ridiculous and over the top. There is a movie, I think Lifetime created it. It's gonna be kind of harder to find. It might be like $2 on Amazon. If I can link it somewhere, I will down below in the description. It's bad, okay? It's not a good movie. It has a low budget, fairly bad acting, but I still thought that it was really fun to watch. If you can kind of separate in your brain, kind of the way we do with like really ridiculous cheesy Hallmark movies, I still thought it was enjoyable. It wasn't like so bad that it was unbearable, and it did follow the plot like fairly close. So I recommend both of these. Have the book, but I'm not gonna go grab it. Twilight, obviously, a lot of us don't mention this book anymore because it's one of the most popular books of all time. But if you haven't read Twilight yet, if you're younger, if you missed the boat, check it out. I still think it's good. I am firmly still a huge Twilight fan. I think it gets way too much hate. I think mostly it gets hate because it's so popular, because there are so many books that have ridiculous themes and things just like Twilight that don't get as much hate. Anytime something reaches a mass popularity, it's going to get a little bit more hate, but it has a lot of hardcore fans for a reason. And so I really enjoyed this series. I really enjoyed the movies as well. They don't follow the books perfectly. Not everything is great, but I love some of the actors. These are some of my favorite memories watching and reading the books. I did it in my 20s, so I feel like you can still enjoy it. You don't have to be a teenager, and it's just a classic for fall and Halloween. Next up, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This book is so fun. I'm actually getting ready to reread it via audiobook. I physically read it the first time because it is filled with all of these semi-creepy old pictures. I believe that Ransom Riggs got the idea for this book based on a pile of old pictures that he found at like an antique store or a garage sale, and he kind of formed the story around that. So in this story, you're following Jacob, and he is going to a remote island off the coast of Wales where he is discovering the crumbled ruins of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. As he explores, he finds out that these kids may have been more than just peculiar. So there's a lot of magic in here, a lot of really interesting things. It's perfect for fall. It looks crazy scary. I don't think it's scary at all. I actually love the movie. It does take a twist somewhere in the middle where it does not follow the original book, but I still like it separate as like its own thing. I thought the actors were good. They had a nice budget as well, and overall I still thought it was really fun. If you're a diehard fan of the book, you're probably not gonna like the movie, but again, I can kind of separate them from my brain, and I still think it's a great one for this time of year. Next up, we have Warm Bodies. This is one of the first fall Halloween books that I read besides Twilight. Actually about a zombie boy that finds love, and he didn't know what that was before. He doesn't remember much about himself. And I thought that concept was really interesting. This is not fast-paced, scary, intense zombie book. It's definitely a love story. It's kind of Romeo and Juliet. We're in the future where zombies exist, so we kind of have all these these little compounds where we stay to protect ourselves, and he falls in love with this girl as he's like killing her boyfriend. And the story is just kind of about that, about his life as a zombie and also him falling in love. And I really like it. It's very slow paced, very thoughtful. It's a full series, which I have only read the first book, but I hope to read the rest of them. I just think it's a really good one for fall, especially if you want to dip your toe into like the spooky type books, but it's not really spooky at all. And this is one of the books that made me realize that I'm actually okay with zombie books. Now, the movie I think is excellent. It might even be slightly better than the book because it's a little bit more fast-paced, wraps things up a little bit quicker. It follows it pretty closely, probably closer than most of the other books on this list. I really enjoyed the actors in it. Again, it had a good budget and everything. Just a really, really fun, sweet movie to watch, and highly recommend. And then lastly, we're going to talk about Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. The Selena Duquesne is unlike anyone the small southern town of Gatlin has ever seen, and she's struggling to conceal her power and a curse that has haunted her family for generations. But even within the overgrown gardens, murky swamps, and crumbling graveyards of the forgotten South, a secret can't stay hidden forever. Ethan Waite, who has been counting down the months until he can escape from Gatlin, is haunted by dreams of a beautiful girl he has never met. When Lena moves into the town's oldest and most infamous house, Ethan is inexplicably drawn to her and determined to uncover the connection between them. In a town with no surprises, one secret could change everything. So I love the southern vibes of this book. We've got this kind of creepy manor, and we've got this mysterious girl with powers, and she's got a mysterious family. It's not like super fall-esque, but it has those like magical vibes. And now the movie, again, does not follow the book super closely. It had a decent budget, it had pretty good actors. Definitely, again, its own thing with its own kind of story. I still enjoy it for this time of year. It's kind of cheesy and over the top, but aren't they all? And it's got all the magically, just slightly eerie vibes that you want. So, highly recommend. Okay, you guys, so that's it for now. I will do more videos like this in the future if you like, so let me know down below in the comments. Let me know if you've read or seen any of these books or movies. Let me know which one's your favorite down below in the comments, or which one intrigues you the most. And I will see you guys next time on The Bright Side.